It comes as several Republican members of Congress announced legislation aimed at D.C., including one bill that would extend the crime emergency declared by the White House. News 4's Mark Segraves has been reviewing the mayor's order and joins us now. She alluded to this when we saw her at the last press conference. What's actually in this thing?
Yeah, so the order lays out how the new Safe and Beautiful Emergency Operations Center that the mayor announced last week will be coordinating their efforts between local D.C. police and D.C. agencies with federal agencies. And it lists many law enforcement agencies, but it omits ICE. And it lays out that D.C. will cooperate with federal agencies to the extent D.C. law allows, and D.C. law does regulate how district officials interact with ICE. And there is one sentence at the very end of the order that requests federal law enforcement officers to wear identifications and to not wear masks. But again, that's just a request. It's important to remember, even if the crime emergency is not extended past 30 days, that doesn't mean the National Guard and federal officers have to stop patrolling D.C. streets. It only means the president can no longer tell D.C. police what to do.
There is a lot going on here, Mark. We know as the mayor was issuing this order that several GOP members of Congress were also announcing that they were going to be introducing some legislation. And I know amongst that legislation was one that would extend this crime emergency. What can you tell us about those bills?
Yeah, so Congressman Andy Biggs, a Republican from Arizona, plans to introduce two bills. One, as you said, the Make D.C. Safe Again Act would extend that crime emergency for 6 months. The second is the Keep Offenders Off Our Streets Act. It would prohibit the practice of cashless bail in the District of Columbia. That's something that President Trump has said he wants to end across the country. Both bills would likely pass the House, but would have trouble getting through the Senate, where they would need at least 7 Democrats to clear the 60-vote filibuster threshold. There are at least 10 other bills being floated on the Hill aimed at D.C. Today on the Hill, Republican Congressman August Pfluger from Texas announced legislation that would, among other things, prevent the D.C. Council from barring the public and the press from their meetings.
Congress must take the next step and use our Article 1 powers. We cannot and will not allow D.C. to fall into a hellscape again. When the local government fails, it's our constitutional duty to act. Congress has a clear constitutional authority over D.C., and we will use it without hesitation to continue making D.C. safe and great again.
Mark, the mayor's been getting a lot of pushback for seemingly embracing the federal response, the federal officials that are here saying, well, while they are here, we're going to make use of them, and somewhat speaking of the president in some flattering terms. What type of pushback has she been getting from residents? How's that been playing out?
Yeah, that was a Wednesday, her press conference then, and we've been talking all year about the balancing effort the mayor is trying to strike, not wanting to pick a fight with President Trump. In some respects, it's working. The president has not followed through with his threats to overturn home rule. And after that press conference last week, yesterday, President Trump praised Bowser on social media, but that did not help the mayor's image with people who want her to push back. Today, a group of more than 100 progressive organizations, including churches and unions, wrote a letter to the mayor urging her to be more forceful with the White House pushing back. That's something so far the mayor continues to be reluctant to do.
She's in a position here where I know we've been talking about this all along. She's walking this line. I understand the White House just responded or reacted to all of this. What did they have to say?
Yeah, Carolyn Leavitt, the press secretary for the White House, put out a statement, much like the president's social media post yesterday, again, praising the mayor, praising this mayor's order today that she put out, and I'm going to paraphrase now, but basically sending a warning to other Democratic mayors around the country, you know what's going to be happening in Chicago and other cities, that they would, again, I'm paraphrasing, that those Democratic mayors would be foolish not to follow the lead of Mayor Bowser and accept the help of President Trump when it comes to fighting crime in their cities.
Is that an example that she wants her name attached to?
You know, it's interesting that you have not seen the national Democrats rally around Mayor Bowser, and you've not seen her kind of lend her voice to what the national Democrats, again, in these other big cities, her counterparts, who she certainly has their phone numbers and communicates with them on, you know, when she needs to. She has not been joining that cry. And again, it's because D.C. is in a much different place than any of those other cities. Don't have a governor, don't have a vote in the House, don't have a vote in the Senate, and don't control their own National Guard. So the mayor does not have the freedom that these other Democratic mayors around the country have.
All right. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mark. We
Yep.
appreciate it.